Prepare to attack the enemy's control points.
Get behind me, Doctor!
I am fully charged!
You are listening to Control Point, a Team Fortress 2 podcast with Brent Copeland, Eric Fullerton, Wes Wilson, and Spencer Williams.
Control Point, Episode 7, recorded on December 2nd, 2007.
I'm Brent Copeland.
I'm Eric Fullerton.
I'm Wes Wilson.
I'm Spencer Williams.
Once again,
Control Point.
Control Point Podcast, Episode 7. I'm Eric Fullerton. We already did that. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, what's your name?
I don't know.
In case you guys hadn't noticed.
You can call me Pee-wee.
In case you guys hadn't noticed, we are recording on a Sunday now. We're going to be doing that for a few weeks. Still releasing on Wednesday, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to go back to Tuesdays eventually.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing that until 2008, right?
Yeah, at the very least, unless we want to be recording on Christmas Day.
True. And we probably don't want to do that.
My wife warned me against that.
We could all come over to your house and do the podcast in your living room.
We could do it under the tree.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I support that.
So are we just waiting for the scout to run into the room with the briefcase?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where is the briefcase today?
Man.
There it is. There it is. Somebody grab it.
I can't. Oh, wow, this is a lame bit we're doing here. Okay, hey, in the briefcase this week, we had some really big Control Point member matches that were a lot of fun. We got a couple of links of conceptual art. You wrote conceptional. Wow, that's not a word. Conceptual art for Team Fortress 2, and including some of the official stuff that they did and some that's not. We've got an announcement of the Control Point server that's going to be changing slightly here in the future. And this week in the dossier segment, we are doing the Pyro. Yeah. So,
you did the Helliation Sisters
We could have done this whole segment with rubber masks on.
Oh, man. That would have been great.
Yeah. So, what's our status?
Why don't you go first, Spencer? You never go first.
I don't like going first.
Well,
but I will. Just a minute here. We had a short week because we recorded on Tuesday and it's just Sunday here, so we all got some good game time in. The best part about this week for me were some really, really epic games where I was playing heavy and Wes was playing medic, and we had some really, really fun times.
It's in my list too, because we were also playing with a lot of CP people.
Yeah.
And we knew who we were fighting and we knew what classes they liked. And it was even better because we would do these crazy things and the results were fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. We were playing on Lonely Town. I can never remember.
Lazy Town.
And,
which, for those who haven't played it, it's important to note that this is a very difficult map to finish all the caps.
It's a control point map, and as I found out, the control points aren't necessarily laid out in the exact progression that you will reach them. But at one point, Wes Ubered me, and I'm like, okay, and I charge down this hallway, and we like kill a couple of people, and we start sitting on a control point, and nothing happens, and then I hear Wes over comms, and he goes, we're on the last control point, but the one before it isn't taken yet, so if you guys could and then we both blow up.
So we're sitting there, but we held it for a little bit, but not long enough. But we were sitting on the final control point of Lazy Town, shooting the people that are coming out of the spawn point and everything. And I was like, because when you started walking down the hallway, I thought you knew where we were going.
You know what I was doing? I was chasing this frickin' sniper that had been giving us grief for a while, and I was like, as soon as we Uber, I'm gonna chase that guy down and kill him.
I had some weird illusion that there was some side strategy that was going on that you knew about.
No,
like everybody was running to the other control point, and we were trying to cut people off at the pass.
No. I wanted that sniper dead.
That is a good map for snipers.
Yeah, it is. Like so many are. but at the very end of that game was one of the most like transcendent moments I've ever had. Our entire team is ready to rush in and take the last point.
So the second point was there.
Yeah.
And we all kind of pushed forward, and we're all lingering on the second point. And I've almost got my Uber up, and we're capturing the second point. We haven't finished capturing it yet, and all of a sudden our whole team is there and
so
ready to go in.
And then his Uber kicks in, and he says, go. He Ubers me. We rush to the last point, and their entire team is there. I mean, pretty much literally they're waiting on us there. But like, I swear the Terminator vision turns on and I'm just picking targets. I take down 2 medics in the space of half a second, which leaves their soldiers completely unprotected. I take down one of their soldiers. I start taking damage because the Uber's worn off. I turn around to see where that's coming from. Take out a scout real quick, and then I hear a pyro over the side take him out, and I'm looking for the next target, and it doesn't matter because we just took the point. And
but what made me want to relive that moment for a long time is that we captured the second to last point, and within seconds we were on the next point and capturing it.
Yeah, it couldn't have gone better.
And I've never seen Lazy Town is such a grind sometimes. Getting that last point especially is just a nightmare. You have to deal with endless flanking, and the fact that we did that final push in just wham wham, it was dreamy.
Yeah, the big downer for me this week is my my headset broke. So I can no longer use voice comms until I'm going to try and fix it with some super glue, because as we have established, I can't afford new shoes. So I can't afford a new headset either.
Let's get it for his Christmas stocking, guys.
Yeah, you need a new headset.
Secret.
So you can start yelling at people again.
Get down here. Head there. We need 2 more heavies, 3 more medics.
What are you doing?
But the strategy worked. Maybe me talking gets in the way of strategy. I don't know, because we had a lot of good strategies work this week.
Maybe it's just that you let me boss you around instead.
Oh,
you were making polite suggestions. You actually said, "Dear good Sir Spencer, would you please be so kind as to run in as I Uber you?" In fact, my best heavy moment ever. We were playing on Mach 2, which is a capture.
It's like a 2 Fort style map.
Yeah. There's like a sewer that runs underneath, and these 2 buildings with a couple entrances. And we're massing at their front door, and they've got as you go into their front door, there's this long open room that opens up to your right, and they've got a turret, a fully leveled up turret there that's just been grinding us to death. We've been trying to get rid of this thing forever. And we're also dealing with their guys coming out, so I'm almost out of ammo when this happens. But Wes Ubers me, and I run in, and immediately click, 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 click. My chain gun is out of ammo, so I switch to the shotgun. I fire twice, and then that thing is out of ammo because I hadn't reloaded. I know I don't have time to reload. I switch to fists and I just struggle forward against the pushback of the turret, and I'm just struggling, and finally, wham! I punched a turret to death. It was so awesome.
Epic.
It was great.
And then we proceeded to push them all the way back to their spawn and keep them there while
Didn't we capture the intelligence that time? Didn't you pick up the intelligence? Didn't we go around the corner and grab it?
I did not, no.
Okay.
I stood there waiting for them to come out of their spawn and killed them while we captured the intelligence over and over again. So that was all the game time. I had a couple of notes. I had some weird Steam issues. I had a couple of people complain, why are you scheduling so many events and making so many announcements? It was because every time I made an announcement in our Steam community, for some reason it made the announcement 4 times. So I had to make the announcement and then go back and delete the announcements, which it made an announcement every time I deleted an announcement. And so it was kind of freaky there. So I don't know what that's all about. Hopefully they get that ironed out. Finally, I do have a new friends list policy. If I don't know you personally, I will gladly add you to my friends list if you've already joined the Control Point group. If you're not in the Control Point group, I'm sorry. I don't have any idea who you are. I'm going to say no. So
Yeah,
that's where that is.
I've gotten to where I like having the Control Point people on my friends group because then I'll notice if a bunch of people are logging on.
Yeah.
I at first I was like, oh, well, I've got them in the community list. Why do I need them on my, as my friends? But then also once I try to get that, one where you play with all your friends, I'll need
achievement.
that. So pretty much I've been adding anybody in the Control Point community that adds me. But, at first I was like, oh, am I sure I want to do this? Now I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to add me to your friends list, just join the community first. So I know where it's coming from. 'Cause I used to, before we started the podcast, just get random friend requests all the time. And I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So that was my week.
You want to go next, Eric?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. This week was basically I come home from the movie, and I only have maybe about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours to play or to do anything basically before I have to go to sleep and do it all the next day. So I've really tried to cram in as much TF2 as I can at the end of the day, and by doing that, I think this week has been a lot funner, more fun than the previous weeks because
it's funner than fun.
I'm trying to cram it all in. So basically, like we'll send out a big invite to everybody. Hey, come to the server. Let's join up. Let's play. So this week I got to play with so many people, and it was so fun. Let's see. I was just gonna shout out to a few people here: Clyde Frog, DA, Mochachi the Moon Princess, of course, Graydon, Hector, Lunchbox 737, Made in China in '85, Novelia, Davari, Crazy Elmo, Zaphod. So anyway, we got on the server. We got a ton of people on the server. We were playing Snow Fort. I know you're going to talk about that a little later, Wes, but
not that much.
Oh, well, the one thing about the Snow Fort map, I think I understand now what it means when you say, when a map has a cold environment, I guess.
Yeah.
It's snowing. Obviously.
Yeah.
There's particles coming down from the sky.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's how you turn on snow.
And he actually, when he figured that out, it was just him and I and Brent playing last night, and he had a pretty good idea. You could pretend it's volcanic ash.
Yeah, yeah.
If you wanted to make a map like that, so I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
And where were we playing that?
Gameservers.com.
Look, I made you my shell.
And let's see, we had a pretty good game on a 24/7 Dust Bowl server. And
oh my god,
that was pretty crazy because we all got owned, and we
really did.
We were at the spawn point where there's a trench and there's gates. And then, you get released,
and
the gates go up, and you have to go.
I have a rant about that because all of a sudden it felt like I was playing TFC all over again. They had 4 frickin' demo men who were just pouring grenades into the gap. And it was just so frustrating. There was nothing we could do about it.
Yeah, if you get on that particular map and you've got a demo problem, the only thing you can do is get a couple of pyros guarding the door, and you got to get your Ubers up. And if you don't, you're not getting out.
And we tried that, and it didn't work because they had a couple of pyros that kept coming in and harrying us. They weren't just sitting back; they were pressing their advantage, and so there was literally nothing we could do, and it was really frustrating.
Yeah. One funny thing this week. When we were playing one of these big games,
I think
at
it was
the end
on
of the
that
day.
Dust Bowl, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, it was. Okay, so on Dust Bowl, I hear Wes calling out in his microphone. He's sounds to me like he's quite mad or something. Like he's calling people a name that I can't really say. I mean, I can physically say it, but
we're trying to keep this
somewhat PG rating or whatever, I'll say F nut.
F nut. F nut.
But you can imagine what the F stands for.
There's 3 missing letters there.
So I'm just like, hey, F nut, let's go around the corner.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm right behind you, F nut. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening to Wes? You're like, all right, I'm ready. You know, hit it, F nut. It's like, all right, Wes has lost it. I'm gonna have to get with him later and ask him what's going on here. So after not just that one match, but after a few matches
of him just calling this guy F nut.
Yeah, because I was like, at first I thought he was calling Spencer an F nut, and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. But then I realized that you were calling not Spencer, but other people, and I was just like really confused. So, but I realized you never called me an F nut. So I was like, well, what constitutes being an F nut and not? So
it's like the new noob.
Yeah,
I want to be a F nut.
So at the end of the story,
so basically, 3 or 4 matches later, I'm just looking at the score, and it's one of those where it's 16-on-16. So, if you're not in the top, 12,
yeah,
you're off the thing. So F nut was not on the thing. So finally, he started getting more points, and I saw that his name was Lord F nut.
Yeah,
and I thought, wow.
And then all of a sudden, we sort of get a mea culpa from Eric over the line. We hear, Wes, I just thought you were going off, but no, actually calling a guy by his name. So.
Yeah, so it kind of made me feel better knowing that you weren't on the other end, just insane with rage. Oh man,
I'm a smoldering medic.
Yeah, but that's about my week. I've had a blast this week, and I'm gonna do that next week. Every day when I get home, I'm gonna get on TF2 and see how many people I can round up from the community.
Yeah,
so.
That's the way to go. We did learn that we can't do it at 3 a.m.
Yeah. We tried last night, Saturday night, around 3 a.m, and didn't work.
A good thing too, because some of us were sucking pretty hardcore.
Yeah. It was a long day.
Might have been a little inebriation.
Yeah.
There's a limit on the number of beers you can have before you play.
Yeah, that's true.
No, there's not. There's not. Trust me, there's not.
And actually, that's kind of a cool topic. Who here drinks and plays TF2? Anybody here?
I will sometimes. I'll have a glass of wine or so. I don't like to drink a whole lot. I'm not a sit around the house and drink kind of guy.
Yeah.
If I'm going to drink, I'm going to be out and about around a bunch of people.
Right.
And sitting at the computer by myself is not enough. Even if they're there virtually, they don't count.
So. All right.
I tend to huff paint. No. I think actually last night was the first time I've played TF after having imbibed.
Oh yeah, and you came from a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't. I suck bad enough already. I don't need a little beer to make me worse.
It'd be funny if we got some stories from listeners about drinking and TF2ing.
And you know what? I think maybe we should have a night
where everyone drinks and gets online.
Saturday night.
Every time you die, you got to take a drink.
Oh, no way.
Wow.
No. But we could have
game.
server announcements that take place every 5 minutes.
It's time to drink.
Yeah.
Could do something like that. That could work. That could work.
That's funny.
Okay, I'll go next. And talking about server announcements, it was kind of funny. I play World of Warcraft as well, along with some of the other people here. And by some of them, I mean all of them. God, Spencer, You've let me down. Anyway, so I'm playing World of Warcraft last night, and we're doing our big Karazhan raid, and we're beating some of the final bosses. And all of a sudden, I get a message from someone, Shark Boy, Kill Slut.
Shark Boy Kill Slut?
Shark Boy Kill Slut. He's a CP member. And he goes...
Wow. Random verb, random adjective, random noun.
Anyway, so he says, I'm lonely. Will you send some people over to the CP server? Nobody's here. So I take a second to create an announcement, and I'm like, okay, Shark Boy Kill Slut is lonely, and I think we should oblige him by going to the CP server and slaughtering him mercilessly. And by we, I mean you.
Mercilessly.
Mercilessly.
Yeah.
And then I said, and by we, I mean you. because I can't make it. So I keep doing my little WoW thing, and then I glance over at the server. There were 15 people on the CP server.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
That's the most I've heard of.
I officially deputized Clyde Frog to frag for me and to mercilessly taunt people.
Well, of course you picked him. He's good.
I know. Speaking of good, when we were playing in Mach 2 the other day and all the CP members were playing on one team, did you notice that the top 4 or 5 people were all CP members?
Yeah, I noticed I was on top.
I don't remember that.
It's cool when that happens, though. I see that.
No, I mean, I think it's just, it's not necessarily that we're really all that great. I think it's that we're getting used to playing with each other.
I think so too.
And I think that there's some good teamwork going on. So
and we do need to watch out a little bit of doing it on servers, like maybe get a few people on each team, because I know that some people get like really been out of shape on because they think like your clan's coming in and just like owning everybody else. And
yeah, but we're not a clan. We don't practice.
Yeah. Right. But no one knows that, right?
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, we put up sprays all over the place.
My favorite spray of the week, I don't know whose it was, but it said, the spy is a cake. Or no, the cake is a spy.
Cake is a spy.
My favorite one. My favorite one.
SBIE.
My favorite one by far is Mohachi, the Moon Princess. He's just got, I don't know why he's got a sheep.
No, it's a pig.
No, it's a pig.
It's a pig. Yeah,
Dancing
it's
pig.
a walking pig.
Dancing pig.
It's the polymorph pig from World of Warcraft.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
We were all on the CP server, and we have all talk on because we don't have a lot of people join. We want to be able to talk to each other, and I'm medicing and he's heavying, and he just keeps whispering stuff to me very, very quietly. He goes, "You're gonna hide over here." And as far as I know, it worked. I don't think you guys heard him.
Yeah, I could hear him.
But you didn't know what he was talking about. He's like, "You're gonna go right, shh, shh. You're gonna right over here. Are you ready? I'm going in."
So basically, that question has been answered too about is it possible to do animated sprays? And the answer is yes, you can.
But what Mohachi said is that there's a limit to the size of the file, so it's very difficult to do because you can't have much animation because the size requirement of the file.
Right, that makes sense.
Okay, so talking about sprays and favorite sprays, I saw my least favorite spray ever.
Uh-oh.
Was it tentacle porn?
No, but it was close.
Furry.
And I don't want anyone to get any bad ideas to go look this up. But there's an image called Tub Girl. And it's old internet. We're talking 5-6 years.
I don't think we should talk about this.
And people were putting these nasty pictures up, and it was more than one person. So I actually was a jerk and used the CP spray to cover up Tub Girl.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to see her.
I'll do that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So you were just talking last week about other people spraying over your sprays, but I think you have the right.
I think covering up disgusting foulness is okay.
Yeah. It saves us from evils.
And my other favorite thing this week, I was supposed to play Pyro and I failed. I played Pyro a couple of times because I was playing with a lot of CP people, and Mr. Eagle and Clyde Frog and Nailhead, there was a bunch of Pyros walking around. So I would log on as my 2 favorite classes, which are Demo Man and Medic. Mm-hmm. Medic, I usually log on if there's only 1 or 0 medics. If there's a couple of medics running around, I usually don't bother with it.
Right.
But if nobody's playing medic, I know that's what makes the difference. And there has to be at least one. If they're Ubering and you're not, your team is going to lose.
Yeah.
So I'll change to that in a heartbeat. Otherwise, I'll look and I'll see how many demo men there are. And if there's, 2 or 3 demo men, I won't bother with that. But if there's only 1 or none, I will get on as a demo man because that's my favorite class. Mm-hmm. So the way that spy disguises work is he will pick a class and then it will choose a name based on who's playing that class.
Right.
So I would see another demo man on my team, knowing full well I had chosen demo man with no other people playing demo man. and I would see my name. I would go, look, it's Wes Wilson, the demo man. And I would follow. And this would happen multiple times because I kept choosing the classes that nobody was playing. So I would always catch the spy who was dressed like me.
Well, that was a bad spy then, because a good spy will see what the other team has a lot of and choose that.
Agreed.
That's true.
Agreed. But in the meantime, I was seeing myself all over the place. And then people are like, spy's a demo man. I'm like, yes, but he's not me. I mean, wait, he is me, but he's not me. And yeah, that was kind of funny trying to describe that. But I would fall back on medic a lot. We were having a lot of fun Ubering, and I was getting a lot of good results going for some good heavy medic combos, and we were having a good time. What?
That's awesome.
That actually reminds me this week, speaking of spies, I was trying to medic up a Pyro, and even though I was shooting him with my medic gun, he was convinced I was a spy. And he kept shooting me with his flamethrower, even though I wasn't on fire. I swear he must have dumped an entire tank into me. He just...
Would you mess with him and just follow him around and start going, there's a spy dressed as a Pyro, get him.
I should have, spy is medic, spy is medic, spy is medic. His name is Devil Turnip.
Yeah, you're getting him. You're getting him. Keep firing.
Keep going. Good job, buddy.
Well, that was my week. I did play the Snow Fort map, and I played actually with a lot of people. And that map can be very, very hectic with a lot of people running around. And you've got that one side that's just a big sniper bay, and then you've got the other side, which is medic heavy land. And I actually kind of enjoyed it. I'll be interested to play that map some more.
Well, we have got it on our server now.
Excellent.
Cool.
So how about you, Brent? What'd you do?
I put Snowfort on our server, which is located at gameservers.com.
Gameservers.com.
But we, like has already been mentioned, hey, I see why people like to go last, because it's like most of your talking is already done, because it's like
Nice.
everything. But we did Snowfort last night. I had fun with the cubes. There's movable cubes in there, and you can bat them
Weighted
around.
companion cubes.
Yes, and that's always fun while someone's blowing you in the head, just whacking it with your shovel or whatnot. I also played on a 420 server, and I was a little worried that maybe they'd listen to the last podcast and might be like,
And ban you.
But it was just a 2-fort server only. I would think there'd be a bunch of 420 maps on there, but there weren't. But it was a lot of fun. It was a big 32-man match, and we had engineers under our grate. That was like the place where we were stopping them into the base, and it was crazy. Like, we had 2 sentry guns right there. Like, you would think, why?
You mean
it was working.
like facing the water?
Like, as you're leaving the fort, there was one facing inward towards your base, inside, under the grate, and then one under the grate facing that one. So they were looking right at each other.
That's kind of interesting.
And I don't know why people just didn't go over the top. Maybe there was another one in there. I never really got there because I was one of the engineers. So, but got a friend invite from that. That was a lot of fun. And then I do want to say sorry to Maz, because we had a little mess up with the donations. He was nice enough to donate some money, but for some reason it charged shipping along with it. So we can either give you that money back, or we can send you out a little token of our esteem or something like that. And then we played on a map. Was it last night with Clan Bro?
Yeah, last night.
It was a very small, like
Clan
4-on-4.
Yeah,
Clan
BRO. Yeah,
Don't
bro.
tase me.
No, it was just Bro.
Okay. Okay.
But so it was a 3-on-3 map, so you're thinking it's pretty much deathmatch, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, coming back with the briefcase, I get killed in my flag room, where they had set up a sentry gun. Not one sentry gun, but 2 sentry guns. So Majachi and Eric and I were like switching off between spy and pyro and soldier and whatnot, and finally, had to clear them out of there. And
They love doing that.
Engineer
though.
infestations are hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
When you get them, you need to wipe them out.
You got to call the Terminex guy.
yeah.
Well, it got to where it was predictable too. I mean, they just kept putting sentries in our own place. It was like, well, I mean, okay, we're on blue team, right? I felt really safe in the red base. You know what I mean? There was no one there ever. It was bizarre.
You should have set up turrets outside their spawns.
Well, it was so easy to get the flag. Really, I mean, they weren't much of a challenge, really. It was just interesting that was their technique. That was what they continuously did. It was,
Well, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
And when you get killed in really brutal ways, your first reaction is, ooh! And then after a little while, you start going, cheap?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was it for my week. I mean, played a lot more and stuff like that. But
I had a couple of questions for you about some maps that are on our servers. I know I wanted to try the CP falling.
Oh, that's right. We played that this week with some CPers too.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm done with that map.
You love it.
you don't like falling underscore CP?
You know what? I never tried, and I want to try, because right at the very beginning of that map, everyone's falling at the same time, and the red team's on one side and the blue team's on the other. I never once tried to play a sniper and try and snipe the enemy team out of the air.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I didn't, but that would have been so awesome.
Well, I after the first time falling and I watched people missing and going back to the top and coming back down, that was when I started throwing down teleporters and I switched to engineer and started saying, well, why do people need to drop at all? Why don't we have a teleporter in the spawn point and then, we can do this. But people got nasty. That map, when you've got that tight confined area. And the other thing is you can't tell when people are coming. Like even if you're looking up, all of a sudden there'll be people right next to you. Something about the way that the falling updates.
Yeah.
You're not getting enough information to actually see them fall onto the platform.
Right.
Because I had the Pyro at one point in time and I'm like, I'm just going to flame anybody. And I was watching up and then all of a sudden I'm dead. So I don't know. There's some neat concept there that failed.
Like the all engineer team. Did y'all try that at all?
No.
That's the best thing to do. Fall down, put a sentry up. Also, this is pretty cool. Somebody on the opposing team thought of this. Put a teleporter down there. Put entrance up on top. Was that you?
That was me. That's what I was just talking about.
Oh, wait, that was
5
you?
seconds ago.
Are you drinking on the
that's
podcast?
hilarious.
Keep the drinking to the
That's
play-in.
funny.
But I was the
Wow.
first one. I was the first one to switch to engineer.
Okay.
Because it was the second round, I went, okay, I'm going to be an engineer. And I tried slapping the teleporter down. Well, first I put the teleporter upstairs, then I put the teleporter downstairs, and then I had to wait and get enough stuff to put my sentry up, but then I couldn't upgrade it.
I remember the first time you put down the sentry, I basically landed on top of it and just was like, hey, look, smash.
Yes, that was when I began to realize that the whole, unless you get people to defend the sentry, you're in trouble.
Right. Right. The other map that I wanted to ask you about was the one we played last night, CP Twisted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That's a King of the Hill map.
Yeah, I didn't care for that one.
That's the Tron-esque one.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, we played it with 3 people, so it was always
we played
2
it
on 1.
with 3 people, but all I can think of is if any more people were on that, it would just be sniper heaven.
They need to fix that. They need to have some.
Well, there's
obscuring
walls
walls
up everywhere. I mean, to
okay,
obscure,
you have a
right?
completely unsecured spawn room, basically.
Yeah, that's probably
you can only walk out in one direction, and there's no walls in front of that. So a good sniper, not me, I'm not a good sniper. I tried to do this. Like when one of you guys would pop your head out from the other spawn, I tried to snipe you. A good sniper could make that shot every time.
Yeah.
So
Spawn camp.
I saw a map the other day that I think people need to look for.
What was that?
And by look for, I mean avoid. It's called Danger Will Robinson. Have you seen it?
I saw it on
Danger Will
FPS
Robinson.
Banana.
Okay. Basically, the entire map is a giant elongated U. Okay. And you start up top and you can go down to ledges. And then there are sniper battles and people shooting at each other across this U. And then when you get to the bottom, there are teleporters. So you step on a teleporter and you go up to the first level.
And,
then you have to
for anyone who is a little lost, the hand signals he is making are helping.
That's why his voice is fading in and out.
But anyway, so it's this big, tall U. And then when you get to the bottom, you can teleport up the ledges to get to the other side. And it got, the vote got rocked about 1 minute into it.
You know what? I think we're starting to get enough new maps every week that I think we can start a map discussion section.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much all we have for this week as far as what we did. Am I right on that?
One last thing.
Fine.
Sorry, but since it's applicable right now, we are trying out Skypecast, where you can log in and listen to the Skypecast live.
Yep.
And we might even put you into talk mode where you can ask questions. So if you have questions, just send Dead Workers a chat message with your question or whatever, and we might get you online. And why I say that is we're on right now, and there is a person in there. So
who is that person?
Shark
it
Boy.
Is,
Hi, Shark Boy.
All right.
We were just talking about Shark Boy earlier, weren't we?
We were.
How you doing, Shark
Adjective
Boy?
noun. Although I never knew that a shark was an adjective.
he says hi
Till
and good. Hey, while we've
So-
got this, let's do a little test real quick, maybe.
Okay. All right. Hey, Shark Boy, do you want to talk to us?
Is this going to work?
guys?
I don't know.
Hey, all right.
Hey, Travis, how's it going? Or Shark Boy, I guess I should say.
Sweet.
Did
Good,
we
just
eat
playing Skyscraper.
Skyscraper? I haven't done that one
Yeah,
yet.
I still haven't played Skyscraper.
Skyscraper. What's that one like?
That's the one that
It's the
Mija
jump
Win.
one.
It's the jumping one, where you got to do the conch jumping to get up. It's the one Mija Win was talking about.
I'm going to
Okay.
try that one, too.
Yeah,
Maybe
Okay.
we'll put it on the server and try later.
That sounds excellent.
that'd be cool.
And by the way, we already have a tentative plan for a big call-in show. We're going to do, I think, after we finish all 9 of the classes, so this will be on episode 11. Episode 11 will be what we're going to do is we're going to try to get as many people together, and we're going to have a big Skype call-in talk show. And I think that ought to be kind of interesting. But let's move on to the loudspeaker.
On the loudspeaker.
Dun, dun, dun.
There were a couple of big updates. Well, big. There were a couple of tiny updates, and none of them were really directly applicable to Team Fortress 2. The one thing that they did on November 30th, they released a small update that fixed the server browser incorrectly refreshing on startup. And I know that confused me when I first started playing. Hey, there aren't any maps. There aren't any servers open. I wonder why that is. And then you had to click refresh to do that. So they fixed that.
Well, that's good.
Woohoo.
I wonder if it fixed. I had an issue where mine just wouldn't update. Refresh nothing. I would get nothing. And then every once in a while I would just switch back and forth between like favorites and history and all that. And after a while it would start to populate. But it may be my crappy computer that I just reformatted.
I still really want them to fix it so I don't have to set my graphic settings every game.
I got one comment from Mr. Eagle that his gameplay has improved since the latest update.
Really?
Yep. He says his gameplay's improved.
That's pretty cool. We saw some really interesting, graphic stuff. This guy named Neko on the Steam official servers has started posting some really, really cool concept art of his ideas for female versions of the TF2 classes. And he's got a female scout up there and a pyro, and he started working on a spy. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever I think about female characters in games, generally tasteful is not the first word that comes to mind.
So like Dead or Alive games or something?
Or Lara Croft or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is completely unsexist females. It looks really great. And we'll put a link up to that on the site. Along the same lines, CG Society put up a story about the evolution of the TF2 art style and how sort of the form followed the function of the gameplay. And that's really interesting. And there's a picture of the heavy with a mullet.
It's really great.
Yeah.
If you listen to a lot of the developer commentary that comes with the game, you'll hear a lot of the points that are brought up in this article. But what's really cool is looking at the way that the conceptual art matches the actual in-game play.
Yeah, yeah. Because the end result looks so cartoony, and it looks just like the cartoon that they drew. It's really cool. Really cool.
We got 100 community members this week.
100.
Awesome.
Nice.
It was really awesome. I noticed and I went, announcement, yay, 100 community members. And then I looked back and saw that Spencer had made the announcement 3 hours earlier.
Yeah. I'm on top of that. Our
Made it 4 times too. Was that one of the ones that went out 4 times?
Yeah, that went out 4 times, and I had to delete several of them. I wanted to give a shout out to our 100th member, who was looking here.
Drum roll, please.
Tino.
How did you find out who the 100th member was?
You can look at the history of the activity in the community.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
So I made him the player of the week, even though generally that doesn't last a whole week.
I made somebody player of the week, and it lasted less than an hour.
You know why? Because he had just been player of the week.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Well, that's because you don't notice things.
I'll just leave it up to you.
It'll be a fight between me and Brent. I think we're the ones that change it all the time.
And so it's like people get whatever it's called once a day or something because we start swapping it around.
Another cool thing happened this week.
Yeah?
We got our first donation
Woohoo!
from John Maz.
We had some people asking questions about why our server is private, and it is because of money. And he was very kind. He said, well, what's the price difference? Maybe we can work something out. And so I told him what the price difference was, and he sent that money. So for at least a month, we'll be taking the server public.
Yes.
Yeah. Might even just take the difference between the monthly fee and how much we're paying. We might get a few months out of it.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah.
That'll be really cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Maz.
What
John
I'm
Maz.
hoping will happen is when we get a whole bunch of CP people on the server, maybe that will seed it so that we'll get other people in, and maybe we'll fill that baby up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get a bigger one.
Yeah.
32 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the other
Yeah.
thing. If it fills up, we can add a couple more seats with,
Yeah.
Because I love those 32 game.
That Dust Bowl
Dole
map.
too.
That 32 person Dust Bowl map. It's just bloody. I mean, it is. Dust Bowl is one of the bloodiest maps around. When you got 32 people in, it's just waves and waves of death.
Yeah. Blood smeared on the walls.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the channel there is just covered in blood. It's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
I'm
It's
such
like
a nerd.
poetry.
I almost just quoted Emperor Palpatine, but
Yikes.
I'll hold on.
No, you should do it. You should do it.
That was a close one.
For the operational Death Star.
and now we're going to get sued.
Yikes. And that was another Control Point podcast.
Dossier. Let's move on before the lawyers get on us to our dossier segment, which is... it's a Pyro.
Okay, this week.
And that was all the tips for the Pyro.
Okay, the Pyro. Everybody knows the Pyro. You can't miss it. Fire! Fire! I'm on fire!
Excuse me, everyone, but I am on fire.
He's so polite.
The Pyro is a moderately healthy, average speedy character.
He is quite
well,
healthy.
he's got 175 health, which is, it's moderately healthy. It's not great. It's what the demo man's got. His speed is, right at 100%. He's just as fast as all the other average characters.
Yep.
Which, didn't we argue that he was one of the fastest?
And he's...
We did at first, but he's not faster and fast, though.
No, he's
That's
not.
the scout.
Well, he's the top 3, tied for the top third, though.
He is tied for number 3. That is in fact true.
Okay, his primary weapon is the flamethrower, and I'm sure everyone's seen it. It's not what you want to see when you're coming around a corner. You get 200 shots of this flamethrower, and it is the only weapon in the game that does not require any reloading other than the heavy's gun. The flamethrower will sit there and spew out its 200 points of death, doing approximately 15 damage per 1 ammo in a steady stream, and whoever gets hit by it will also catch on fire, unless, and I'll cover that later.
What do they then? Do they take five hits?
5 hits per
second?
click.
Yeah.
Yep. And the flamethrower is one of the best close range offensive weapons in the game. It is able to deliver more damage in a really close range, more than anything other than, I think, the heavy's gun. I think the heavy's gun actually technically does more damage at close range.
Possibly.
His secondary weapon is a shotgun. It's the standard shotgun, 6 shots to 32 rounds you're able to hold totally. The shotgun is the same as, 4 other classes. And his melee weapon is a fire axe, which does 45 to 85 damage, which I believe is slightly higher.
No.
Am I wrong?
You're wrong.
I'm wrong again. I was wrong last week.
Okay. Let's settle the melee weapon debate once and for all. All of the melee weapons do exactly the same damage, except for the
Scout and the Spy.
The Scout and the Spy.
Okay.
Which do the same amount of damage.
Okay. And it's more.
Less.
How do you know all this? So we need a chart.
We have the
one.
chart.
Yeah, we have a Google doc of this, but I keep forgetting to look at it. The real advantage of the Pyro is the ability to deal lots of damage quick and never have to worry about reloading.
The Pyro is designed to be the best short-range combat class, aimed at encouraging players to adopt an ambush style of play. To achieve this, we made the Pyro vulnerable in the open, which forces players to seek out enclosed areas and doorways. To add to the Pyro's short-range lethality, we made the flamethrower effects visually noisy, which helps disorient opponents long enough for the flames to finish them off.
The main tip for a Pyro is get in, get out. Since you have residual damage with your flamethrower, since even after you're gone, they will continue to take damage.
Residual. Sorry.
If you manage to damage them and then get out of the way before they can damage you, you're still hurting them. So if you get in, get out, you end up doing exactly what you need to do with the Pyro. The Pyro is primarily what a lot of people would call a flanking class. The idea is to get the Pyro in, get it in quick where nobody's looking, and do a tremendous amount of damage as fast as possible. So side doors are the Pyro's friend.
Less traveled routes,
Yes.
That's why I'm a terrible Pyro. I get bored.
If you're trying to clear out an area, one thing also, I've talked about the Demo Man's grenades being a deterrent. There is very few close deterrents that work more effectively than the flamethrower, because that sound, that when you hear it and you see it, your first instinct is to get away, because if that Pyro crits, you're dead, period. And so a lot of times, like let's say there's a control point and you want to get people off of it. A lot of times what you can do is before you even get there, you might want to start flaming up and get their attention so that they back up off the control point if you're defending it. Mm-hmm. However, this is contrary to a main Pyro strategy, which is to get in quick, do the damage, and get out. So there's 2 different kinds of angles on this. You can either use your fire as a deterrent, or you want to hold it back so that you're not deterring the people to make them not get away from you.
Right, right. And even if you're using it to do damage, if the other team, we tend to talk about a good strategy is stick together as a team, and nothing can thwart that strategy faster than all of a sudden your entire team being on fire. that causes your team to panic, and
it's true. When everyone is on fire, it's hilarious. You can watch them scatter like ants. They're just like whoosh.
Yeah.
Everybody goes running for the dispenser or trying to find you'll hear medic, 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 medic,
or 2-fort, jump in that water.
Yes, because if you are burning, getting in water will stop the burning. Now, we're not talking the little puddles.
Not like in real life where water does not stop the flames.
Well,
But yeah, you have to be submerged in the water.
Right. Running through the sewers of 2-fort will not do it, but jumping under the bridge of 2-fort will.
Now, jumping up and down in the puddle, I've tried that. That doesn't work either. I mean, you think it would splash up.
How about ducking? Has anybody tried ducking?
No, that doesn't work either. Man, I've tried everything to be not on fire anymore. And
unless you're a Pyro. And then you have a flame retardant suit.
Yes, that's the one person who cannot burn is the Pyro.
But they can feel lead, just like everyone else.
That's true.
The Pyro will take direct damage from the flamethrower, so it's not protection against other Pyros.
You just don't get the dot.
You just don't get the damage over time.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Another thing you can do to stop being on fire is to rush to a respawn room and hit the ammo crate, basically.
The resupply box.
The resupply box.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And you will immediately lose fire and, of course, get full health. So.
Which is always good.
I wonder if, like Snowford, I wonder if there's something with that, like maybe you take less damage. I guess they wouldn't do that, but...
That sounds a bit advanced.
Yeah.
But then I guess the last way would be to just die.
Yeah, if you die, then you will only be on fire for a little bit longer.
Yep, that's true. You're good at this, Brent. Anyway, so if you're on fire, head for some water. Usually maps have a few bodies of standing water that you can jump into, and that's always a good thing. One other tip for pyros, don't forget you have other weapons. The truth of the matter is that while the flamethrower is a truly superior weapon, your secondary weapon, the shotgun, is still a great item to have.
Yes.
And after you light people on fire and they're running away, the smartest thing you could do is whip out your shotgun and put some buckshot in their heinies.
One of the biggest mistakes that I see pyros make is people not understanding how short a range the flamethrower really has. I mean, it's an incredibly short range. And one of my best defenses against pyro is just back up. Because they're not faster than anyone unless they're not faster than most other classes. So if you just back up and they keep flaming, I mean, they're making a target of themselves. It's hard to miss where the flame's coming from, and you shoot them in the face or in the flame.
One great thing about the pyro is if you can find an engineer to team up with, a pyro next to a dispenser is probably one of the greatest things in the game. It is an indispensable, I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? Inexhaustible supply of fire.
It is the alpha and the omega.
I just like saying the dispenser is indispensable. Maybe we should have Spencer say it, though.
Yes.
Spencer said
Spencer is Spencer. Oh, I messed it up.
And the thing is, you should find one easily because a lot of the times the best place to be is spy patrol helping the engineer get rid of the spies.
The flamethrower on the pyro is the best tool for detecting spies in your team. Every time you are running by one of your allied players, hit them with a little bit of flame. Your players aren't going to catch on fire. And if a spy runs by and I shoot it with a shotgun, I might do damage, but I'm not going to notice that damage. Unless you kill a spy, you will not see their health go down on their disguise. But if you shoot them with your flamethrower, they will catch on fire, and you will instantly know that person is not on my team. So when you're on maps like Dust Bowl, where your sentries set up in small areas to cover certain zones, and you are having a spy problem, you've got a spy infestation, they're pouring in, they're sapping your stuff, they're killing your engineers. What I'll do sometimes is I'll park myself next to the dispenser and then just spray back and forth across everything so that anybody who gets near will get flamed. As a matter of fact, one time me and Brent were playing, and he was playing an engineer and I was playing a pyro. And we set up, and we had a spy problem, and I came over as the pyro to just guard the stuff. And then Brent looks at me and goes, "We've only got 18 more minutes of this." We had lost the first point early, and it was a long Dust Bowl game, and I'm just sitting there going,
and it was crazy.
Wait, what were you doing? Awesome. Along the same lines, this is just a general tip for spy detection. Just because you shoot someone and they don't react, that doesn't mean they're a spy. A good thing to do that a lot of people do not do, I would love to see more people do this. If you see someone fire their weapon, they are not a spy. So stop shooting them, because you're wasting ammo. As soon as someone fires their weapon, if they're a spy, they're going to revert to their spy. They're going to see spy.
Yeah.
So stop shooting me when I'm shooting you with the medigun.
And on the same lines, if you're coming into, like, say, the flag room or someplace that you normally wouldn't be, it may seem a little odd, just pull out your melee weapon and just start shaking it.
Yeah.
Because all the spy costumes have the dominant weapon.
Yeah, the primary.
They do not have the secondary weapons.
Right.
So that's another thing you can do is if you see somebody running around and they don't have their primary weapon out, you know that's not a spy.
Now, the reason I bring this up is because this week I was trying to heal a pyro, And I swear he dumped an entire tank of flame while I was healing him, trying to set me on fire.
Man. I usually just puff people in the face with one click, one ammo slot.
He apparently thought that wouldn't do the job.
And along this dispenser pyro thing, if you know some engineers are around and they don't have their dispenser built already, ask them to build it where you're going to be flaming people. Now, the best place for a spy to hole up is to find a nice corner, a place where they cannot be seen, and as soon as somebody comes around the corner, they get a face full of fire.
And crouch.
You mean pyro, not spy.
Oh, sorry, yes. So the idea is if you can get a dispenser there, then you never have to go anywhere. Even if somebody gets a few shots off on you, you're in close quarters, you're going to flame them to death, you're going to heal up, and you're going to get your ammo back. There is a technique regarding this also. People have called it the spy zapper technique. The idea is you have somebody put up a dispenser and then a pyro is nearby and he waits for somebody to come running towards the dispenser and then he just jumps out and flames them. And so you put some bait up there for the spy and then you zap him.
Wow, a spy trap.
Yes.
Wow.
That's fun.
One of the key things that a pyro is good for is for clearing off control points quickly.
Yeah.
If you have a control point that has, 5 enemies on it, the heavy will only do so much. But if you can get a pyro on there, and especially if you can get an uber pyro on there, then you can just clear out the whole control point in seconds.
Yeah.
It's glorious. It really is.
And that's another thing. The pyro is great for ubering. In fact, it's probably, I don't know. If not number 1, number 2 on the list.
Are we back to the Uber, the hierarchy of who to Uber?
I have actually started putting pyros over demomen.
That's what I said.
Oh, I would always do that.
Yeah. Oh no, I because of the amount of damage you could do with a well-placed sticky, I have been a big fan of Ubering demo men and going into areas and having them sticky bomb all the sentries in a room. But if you can get the pyro Ubered and get him over there in immediate range, now that's one of these cases where as a medic, you need to run in first because you need to be getting pushed back by the bullets, not the pyro. Mm-hmm. And you need to get the pyro in there to destroy the sentry.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, pyros are surprisingly good at taking out engineer equipment.
Yeah, big time.
I did not know that.
Yes. They are very good. I like it. That's what we were talking about. I've been Ubering a lot of pyros this week. Okay. With the pyro, as I said earlier, you want to be a flanking class. You want to get in, you want to get out, you want to be like the cavalry. You're not the main attack force. Your goal is not to be on the front lines next to the soldier and the heavy. You don't want to be there. What you want to be doing is harrying the people who are in the battle with those people. So you want to zip in the side, flame a bunch of people, and get out so that they're burning and getting shot by the people that they were fighting in the meantime. If your enemies see you coming, one thing that you can kind of do, and this was actually covered in a video, there's a couple of great videos, How to Be a Spy, and there's one called How to Be a Pyro, and I thought this was pretty good. Let's suppose you're running into the point in Gravel Pit, you're coming into B, and you start to come up the map where you're coming into the building at B, and there's 5 guys, and they're all looking at you. Mm-hmm. Well, what you can do is shoot your flamethrower real quick, fill the area with fire, and then dodge out one of the doors in such a fashion that they don't see you because of all the fire in the air. And then you zip around the building and get them from the other side. So you actually use the flamethrower as like a ninja's, little
like smoke screen.
And I'm out.
Nice.
And I thought that was pretty good.
Pyro, master of misdirect.
So I thought that was an excellent little tip.
Watch me pull a shotgun out of my hat.
That trick never works.
We got some great tips from our listeners, as we have been since we started asking for tips.
Yeah, ever since the sniper episode, I guess.
Yeah.
And does anybody want to read the first one from Eagle?
Eagle, this is great. His pyro tip was roast 'em and pump 'em. Basically, you need to use your shotgun along with your flamethrower. People will often find their way out of your range. A quick switch to Maybe I shouldn't read this. I can't read
Dun,
it.
dun, 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 dun.
We're having technical difficulties.
with my mouth. A quick switch to your secondary, Q by default, will let you decorate their torso with lead fragments and diminish their chance of surviving. Don't run around burning nothing. And this is basically what I was saying earlier. Set them on fire, switch to your shotgun, finish them off that way. And he has this great line here. It could be on a T-shirt.
It might end up be.
Yeah. Flames and lead makes them dead.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks,
Mr.
Adam.
Eagle. Yeah. Let's see. What do we got here next? We got one from Espen from Norway. If you kill somebody with a flamethrower, always remember to taunt. It's worth it, even if one of their teammates comes along and kills you. No exceptions.
They do have the best taunt in the game.
Yeah, they do.
With their primary weapon.
Yeah, they raise up the gun above their head. Even the fireball is awesome too.
Yes.
I like the heavy's taunts better.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, when he's got his fist out and he does the pow. It's awesome.
The Pyro has the Tusken Raider thing.
Wow.
Okay.
That's our second Star Wars reference for the episode.
Speaking of, we got a picture from Shark Boy too.
We did?
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Okay. And then he's got the fireball on his shotgun.
Yeah.
And then his last one is he pulls out the axe and he starts playing air guitar on it. That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Best taunts in the game.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, he goes on to say a more serious tip. Pyros are great for clearing out large control point capture parties.
Absolutely true.
Just
Thanks, Espen.
stand there on the control point, do a 360 a couple times.
Let's see, and then we got one from Super Luigi.
Luigi.
Which, speaking of, my son went as Luigi for Halloween.
Yeah.
Me.
Anyway,
With the L on his forehead.
yeah, so we can't let him wear that hat to school. But he loves the hat. Anyway, here's some tips from Pyro that Super Luigi sent us. Use your teammates as an advantage. If your buddies are engaging enemies, a flanking attack from a Pyro can easily destroy their forces. Use the shotgun. Whilst fire is fun, a shotgun can finish a retreating enemy faster than your flamethrower. For heavies, employ a strategy similar to the scout. You're one of the faster classes and run circles around large Russian.
Sorry, I had to interrupt.
And
No, he is still one of the faster classes. He can still.
He's tied for third.
He's tied for third.
Well, he's 100%, so really he's not fast or slow. He's average, right?
Yes.
but compared to a heavy.
That's how you take out a soldier, by running around him and getting him close.
See, that tip started out with 4 heavy, so he is much faster than a heavy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, but anyway. So the idea is to circle strafe. You circle strafe around and keep your...
Heavy.
Yes.
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 Okay. Ubered Pyros can be better in some situations than a heavy or a soldier. Control point covered with baddies, Uber Pyro can take care of that.
Yep.
And remember, double jumping is a great ability to use.
Thanks a lot, Luigi.
All right, the double jump. Well,
Everyone's a freaking comedian.
so I think the primary strategy thing that I picked up from looking at the Pyro is not to go in charging. That
Yes, you are not an offensive class.
you want to really come in from the side and shut up. Are you
No, I'm
lying?
just saying because that's what they call it, right?
No, that is what I agree. I think it's more of a defensive class.
And I'm going with support now. I used to think defensive, but I think it's support on defense, and I think it's support on what's the other one? Offense.
You know what?
Our brains are scrambled today, aren't they?
I
It's just
honestly-
doing it during the daytime. We're all like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
you
have
got
to.
your pants on.
I'm gonna have to. I'm a terrible pirate. I'm terrible at it, and I'm gonna try and incorporate some of these tips into my playing. See if I can get a little bit better.
My problem is as soon as I see an enemy, I want to shoot him.
I run straight in.
Me too. I suck as a pirate.
The quickest path between 2 points is a straight line,
Yep.
and that's the way I always go.
I mean, Eric, you're probably the best Pyro here, right?
Well, yeah, I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but it's my second most played. I didn't realize I liked it so much before I saw my chart, I thought, wow, I must really like it. But I do really like to take the less traveled route. Even if it's longer, it takes me much longer to get to where I'm going. I want to do that. I like sneaking around, so I like to spy. for that reason, and also I like the pyro, and I love the idea of damage over time.
Yeah.
So I want to see quick results when I play. So I want to walk into a room and destroy lots of equipment and people at the same time.
I think that's the way you are, like in real life too. I've seen you at parties just sort of skulking
He wants
around.
to destroy lots of equipment.
And then I go into I sneak around, I go into the fridge, and instantly I take all their food.
He sets their blenders on fire.
See, and I think one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of the pyro is because I'm probably the control freak nature of me.
Yeah.
And I don't like surprises so much. And so I don't like to sit there and wait. Is he going to die? Is he going to die? Am I going to get that kill? Is he going to die?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
My problem is I'm like I said, I'm completely unaware of. I don't pay attention to how much attention I'm drawing to myself with the fire. So I'll see somebody, I'll start shooting even if I'm not quite in range, and I'm alerting them to my presence before I'm even in range to do damage.
Man, you want to know how bad at pyro I am? I never even considered that. That's the first time I've ever thought, wow, when I shoot fire, people can see me. God, I'm going to stick to soldier.
I've been playing soldier a lot more. Yeah. You have actually convinced me that it's
soldier's right.
Yeah. So next week we're going to be doing the heavy, right?
Yes, heavy.
Oh, wait, did we have any call-ins about the pyro at all? I don't remember.
We did. We got one from John Maz, the guy who donated and made it possible for us to go public
on
our server. What is the server that we have? Who hosts
it's on gameservers.com.
And
where distinguished gentlemen like John Maz play.
Let's hear it right now.
Hey guys, this is John Maz from Boston. Love the show. I wanted to say you guys have been putting down that orange map that you guys are talking about. It's actually called CP Orange X, and it's really a great map if you play it. It's a long map. You should give it another chance. It might take sometimes like an hour long. It's actually pretty cool. But I have a pyro tip, and it's kind of specifically for Orange X, but I mean, I'm sure you could use it on any similar type of map. If your team owns the middle point, which is usually you guys said it, that tall building, and the cap point is up top. Especially on fast respawn servers, you go up there as a pyro or teleport up, and then you just jump off, and you get some kind of fall damage. It's not a whole lot, but I mean, it really causes a big commotion when there's a pyro falling out of the sky. And I think that's actually where I got my flamethrower achievement, the set 5 people on fire in 30 seconds. It's a cool tip, and it really causes some commotion. And it's a cool map, and you should really give it another chance. So anyway, keep up the good work, and love the show. Bye.
Okay, well, thanks, John. That's I have to admit I've only played on the Orange X once, and I did not have fun. But I'll give it another shot. I'll be willing to. And
I'll give it another shot too, but I'm not going back to that server where that guy yelled.
I think we have it on our server actually.
Really?
I think I saw a 420 map, and I think that's it. So let's give it a try on there.
Okay.
Have a CP match.
And Death from Above with a pyro is a great tip. I like that tip. That's cool.
Rain, let it rain fire.
So yeah, that's it for the pyro.
Cool.
Next week we'll be talking about the heavy.
Eric's like, cool.
I'm just thinking, well, even though next week is the heavy, I'm still going to be playing the pyro next week. I just can't get away from the pyro. I love it.
You know what I'm going to end up doing? I'm going to end up spending my whole week making
healing
sure.
me.
Yes.
He's going to be healing me. Yeah. I'm going to be playing the heavy.
I should just let you read out the whole heavy thing this week.
I love the heavy, and I'm really looking forward to it. If you have any tips beyond shoot people, send them in, call them in. We love to hear from you.
What about double jumping with the heavy?
You know what? If you can tell me how to double jump with the heavy, then go ahead and send that tip in because I want to hear it. So yeah,
We got a few things for the listener contributions.
Oh yeah.
Shark Boy's in chat right now, and he sent us a link to a couple of pictures. One's of a Team Fort Jedi.
That's awesome.
And then one is basically a
third
control
Star Wars
point,
reference.
Image he made from in-game shot. So we'll
that reminds me. We someone, I don't remember who, started a
Clyde Frog.
He started a screenshot thread in our forum, and so far he's the only one to post any. But I actually have a really great shot of Wes playing. I need to put it up. Wes playing a scout. Standing over my dead heavy's corpse, so yeah.
So, and how does everybody take a screenshot? Just screen print key?
Just control print screen, isn't it?
Or no, what was
F5.
it? F6?
F5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And does it save it as a JPEG? PNG?
No, it saves it as some weird.
Is it Targa or something?
Yeah, and you have to convert it, which is kind of lame. But
yeah,
and Vista doesn't have any way to handle that. I had to download GIMP.
I think I just have some image converter or something like that.
I wonder if that's an option you can change. I know World of Warcraft changed it so you could pick either or.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll do something like that.
Maybe we'll look into that.
We also had a bunch of links. I don't know who all put all these there. I know I put a few there under surveillance this week. I don't know if y'all have used any of the SIG generators things. I know you have, Spencer, because I've seen it on the forums.
Yeah, I've got the one from Team Fortress
TF2 Dev.
TF2 Dev. Yeah, that's it.
There's another one called SteamCard, which you put in your Steam stuff, and there's a couple different versions of it. It looked pretty neat.
I actually have that on another forum that I use.
So that's at SteamCard.com. There's also some TF2 Art and Sprays that I don't know if y'all have. I know it's kind of the oldish art where it's like use the dispensers and things like that.
Yeah, sort of like some Art Deco style ads for engineers equipment. It's kind of cool.
And he started his own site with the TF2 art like that and some sprays. So we'll link to that, PCGameArt.com.
Those are really good. I've seen those.
Yeah.
And then there's some map building links we'll put on there, and I put a new post on our site about some stats for building maps for I guess sizes, proportions of models and doors and guns, so it'll be easier to make doorways and halls and stuff like that.
Yeah, that actually reminds me. One thing that I wanted to mention is Eric is the go-to guy on around here for map building questions, and he's working some crazy hours right now. So you might want to look into some other ways to get answers to your questions. He may not be able to get to them right away.
Yeah.
I remember with the TF2 Dev SIG generator, you had some issues when you first tried it.
I wasn't doing it right.
Okay. Shark Boy is having trouble with it too. Maybe.
Okay. The easiest way to do it is when you look at your Steam page, it's going to give you a URL at the top of Steam, and whatever the name is at the end of the URL, in my case, it's Devil Turnip. You put that in exactly. Don't put in what I mean, my actual in-game name is Devil Turnip CP.
Well, he gets that. Maybe I should put him on live. Anyway, we'll talk about that on the forums. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
That works good. So, anybody else want to go?
I think we've gone on long enough.
Yeah.
I think this is a wrap up.
We normally do shout outs now, but we've already said hi to everyone.
Yes.
Shout out
Yeah.
So I'll finish this out. You should dig us.
Yeah.
You should leave us some reviews on iTunes.
Reviews on iTunes.
Join our community, our Steam community.
Join our community.
Come and leave messages in our forums.
Forums.
Or call us and leave us a message, and we might play your message on the air. The number is 256-513-4772.
And feel free to donate.
Yeah.
More donations equals gooder.
Yeah.
And by the way,
You are now at the end of another episode of Control Point.
Victory.
Every one of you deserves a medal!
A podcast brought to you by the Dead Workers Party. See the show notes and leave comments for this episode at controlpoint.deadworkers.com or leave us a voicemail at area code 256-513-4772.
Auf Wiedersehen!
Control Point, Episode 7, recorded on December 2nd, 2007. Let me do that again. I said 2007.